Hello.
Hello.
Hola.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm galvanized, focused. No, do you know what? That's a lie. I am a little bit tired.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit under the weather. I'm a
Mm.
little bit groggy,
Oh, are
but
you gonna come for
I'm
me?
but I'm here because it's just what I do. It's who I am. I sacrificed myself
You sacrifice your life for Pakistan.
for the
You're
art.
sacrificing your life for Pakistan
I was
and
sacrificed.
destroying India.
Sacrificed my own life back then. That
Pakistan.
happened in, I believe it was Saudi Arabia. It's a foreign school in Saudi Arabia.
It was so iconic.
But do you know that lady? She's a politician, and like she lives her best influencer life. She's like, yeah, business class, flying over to like Doha or whatever, and like it's really fascinating. Social media has made it really fascinating because the way you see, because people say, "Oh, everything on social media is fake," but then there's an element that's really real, which is people believe what they are, kind of thing. So it's, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, oh, so like that wasn't a sketch you were doing. You really are
Oh
that
yeah.
person.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
you really do go to schools and hype up the children.
Yeah, and go, that's great, that's
Yeah, yeah,
great,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
great, that's great. We will
yeah,
sacrifice our life for Pakistan.
yeah,
You want to be a pilot? That's great. Be a pilot,
yeah,
pilot, pilot, fly.
yeah, yeah.
That's so interesting you say that because like social media,
Wait, I'm sorry if anyone can hear noise.
this is New York, baby.
This is New York. I think somebody's moving in or out or
Do
something.
you know what? We continue,
It's New York, baby.
baby.
Okay.
Go on.
More importantly,
Is she interrupting me already, Miss?
this
I'm under the weather. You can talk all episode.
Miss Starla over here.
Yeah.
Miss Starla. Wow. Did you just physically assault
Oh,
me
God,
on
don't even
camera?
stop.
Oh, you did it 3 times.
It's cute.
Oh my god. This is how it starts. And then you Google one
Don't
of
joke about that.
those TikTokers that unalive people. Have you seen it though? It's
No, babe, I don't doom
crazy.
scroll.
Anywho, no, what was I saying?
You were gonna say a point that came to your
Something
mind.
great. Yeah, yeah. This is what grinds my gears. This is what grinds my gears. Is the worst thing about living in this city. It is not the rats. It is not the rent. It is people saying, "This is New York." I hate that. I absolutely hate it because people will say it when you're in imminent danger or there is something catastrophic happening. People will just go, "This is New
You know
York."
what?
No, it's not. No, excuse
It
me. I
will.
haven't finished. No, it's not, Joanne. You are an idiot, okay? We were in the subway and there was people cramming in like there's no tomorrow and the world's gonna end. So they started shoving, and then so we were like because they were getting uncomfortable. I have claustrophobia. I don't want people that close to me. And I was like, back up. Back the fuck up. Because I was like, no, I'm not gonna
Period.
be crushed to death whilst having cross-dressing aspirations in a foreign country. I will not have that on this day. And so this woman had and the guy, the conductor, he was like, "There's another train coming. There's literally another car coming any second now. Stop it. You'll get on the next one." All this chaos is happening, and this woman had the nerve to turn around and say to me, "This is New York," and I'm like, "No,
But
this is." I'm
it
like,
is.
I'm not saying what I was actually thinking, but I was like, "No, being crushed to death isn't New York."
Period.
And then she felt stupid and left.
Well, there you go. That's the story you came here for today,
But
everyone.
can I say something? This is New York.
This is New York, baby. Do you know what is New York? Do you know what is New York?
Yeah.
Yes, we've got all the beauty, all the wonder, all the hopes, all the dreams. What is New York? It's someone pissing in broad daylight on the street with their pants down.
We're gonna get demonetized now. We're gonna have to. We have to come up with fancy ways
Someone
of
bleeping.
It's the dumbest thing ever. We have to come up with fancy ways of saying the same thing.
Okay.
So
And
like,
I've been really careful and mindful about swearing, and I didn't realize that one.
somebody was offloading personal liquid in the public.
Yeah, someone was going to the toilet in public,
Yes.
and that's what was
Relieving
happening.
themselves.
Relieving themselves.
Offloading
And
personal
then-
liquid.
Somebody was offloading personal possessional liquid on the street in New York. I gasped. I was so mother-tucking shocked.
Were you shocked?
Yeah, I was shocked. And also, rats are New York.
Oh,
When I walk to the gym in the morning and it's not icy outside, The rats are ratting.
Have you seen any recently?
Do you know what? Yeah, I saw one the other day,
Oh.
but it was like cowered in some corner because of the ice.
Oh, okay.
So work,
Okay.
you know.
Well, this is New York.
This is New York, baby. What else is New York? People, do you know what I love about this city though? Is the confidence people have. Just to like be out loud themselves, like everyone's with like the AirPods in, screaming, shouting, having a good time, talking on the phone.
Yeah.
People are just really confident and out there, and I love that. I love the veracity of the city.
Veracity. That's a fancy word, isn't it?
Well, she's Miss Fancy. Who is this though?
Oh yeah. So we have to address the situation.
The situation, am I?
Over to this bitch who had a
And
lot to say about
demonetized
me in the press. I love how we said demonetized, like as if we're making millions doing this. Do you know
that when that 7p lands in our account?
This one video, it's probably because I'm doing it wrong, but like this one video that's had probably like combined like 5-10 million views. I saw the numbers rolling in. Do you know how much it was? 6 cents.
Girl, you better work.
Nobody's even gifted me. It's just 6 cents.
You better take that coin
that's
and
always
run.
Worth. But anyway, back to
Me.
This bearded daddy.
Girl, who is that?
And now you're in your twink era.
Well, no, I'm not a twink.
We're both in our twink eras.
Girl, I ain't a twink.
Twinkly.
I am not a twink. Do not put me with twinks.
Daddy piss
I've got nothing against twinks. Apart from everything against them.
You feel okay. Go on, pop off. Why do you hate
no, I don't hate twinks. I don't hate.
It's giving millennial hate.
I don't hate a group of people. You know, I'm not making an apology. Do you remember when Octavia had to make an apology
for saying twinks are white?
For like white twinks, for saying white twinks on Drag Race or something.
She said twinks are mainly white.
Yeah, or something. Yeah.
It's like a white young person.
White young skinny person. Yeah. And then she had to make an apology about it. I'm like, girl, Paul Octavia, right? You don't need to apologize, girl. I'm telling you, do not apologize for saying stuff like that.
She should apologize for that drag mama.
That was a drag girl. No, she don't need to apologize for that.
Mediocre drag queen trying to make something.
Oh, you know.
Oh,
do you know what?
She should fix that hair.
Listen. Nobody wants to hear me on the mic for 2 hours.
What?
You don't get the reference, do you?
Oh, the foil background. Camp.
Stop it. That was last month.
It was.
Okay. Yeah. Not that we were recording in advance, but that was last month.
Definitely didn't happen a few days ago.
No, when, all that stuff kicked off. What kicked off?
What are we talking about today? Should we just get into this?
Well, I think we're already into it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Go on, you tell me.
Shall I talk about it?
Yeah, you
So,
talk.
I'm
supposed to be under the weather. I'm supposed to but I'm such an aging star. At the minute you put a camera and a microphone, I'm like, hello.
Girl, you are.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about it. It's the girls.
Hello. Yes.
The girls. The girls. So the girls, you know who the girls are.
Yes, they are, of course, Crystal Versace, LaBelle, and Dee Licious.
Yes, they are.
3 gorgeous queens who know who I am, who love us, but neither of them follow us.
Girl, you're such girl. I hate you.
Girl.
Delete.
Okay, but sidestep, right?
Let's be
I'm
real.
obviously making a joke about it, but I don't understand the obsession with they don't follow me. I don't think that should play into any friendship factor or like some of the best people I know, I don't care for their social media, or I don't even follow them on social media. I think like the whole thing of like, do they follow me? Do they not? I don't think it means as much as people. It shouldn't have as much emphasis on it as it does. Like, I will go through a rotation, and if I've seen a lot of somebody and I want to see something else and I want to make space for it, I will unfollow them and I'll come back to them at some point. That's absolutely fine. I don't think we should hold people to whether they follow you or
sometimes
not.
You feel like people shove you in a corner to do it, and they'll like force it upon you, and then it's like, I don't like you. Like, and like, this isn't me trying to say it. I don't like you. Or sometimes you'll work with someone and everything's great and they'll just get rid of you.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Because, they can only have a certain amount of Disses and South Asians that they follow. There's a quota, honey. There's a quota. But let's get into,
okay, yes,
queer, white, racist Brits another time.
Let's get, because we're in queer media.
We're in queer media.
Stick around for more dated references.
Girl, I want to, let's get into this. So basically, the girls, there was a clip that was from last year where they said something about camp drag. But it was really, all these drag artists took it out of context. when you actually listen and watch the podcast, which I actually do because I love seeing, queer people who are really passionate about the art they're doing. They're really passionate about it, really hardworking. And they were just talking about all the different variations of drag and, what works in the UK, what works in other places, how much they actually respect and love all kinds of drag. The pile-on was insane. One thing the queer community don't learn is like stop bullying people. It's bullying. Stop piling on people, especially young people, young creative people. We're meant to be celebrating that. But it was wild seeing all these queens pile on. Like, I would love to see you with a mic for 2 hours. First of all, Miss Thing, I don't want to see even you with a mic for 2 hours because you are terrible on the mic. Go fix that mug. Go fix that hairline. Go and fix the drag, because aesthetic is important regardless, and I want to see it improve over year after year after year after year, because that's how that's how you get your fans in and keep them in. Fans, well, you don't even have fans. Anywho, I don't care to see. Second of all, I don't care to see Crystal Versace host a 2-hour comedy show. That's not what I'm going to see Crystal for. I want to see the look, the performance, and the fierceness, because that is what I'm booking. If I was booking her, that's what I'm booking her for, right? And then you had people commenting like, taking everything out of context, like, well, I'm going to keep making my coin, paving the way. I'm like, Miss Thing, what coin are you making? You're entering the same contest at VIA every single year, doing a terrible job at it and not earning any money doing drag, because you shouldn't be doing drag. Drag queens, I find, have this thing where, like, they think the industry they're in, they're more elite than everyone else around them. But what they need to understand is, it's like any other industry. Some people are going to be outstanding. Some people are going to be good. Some people are going to be satisfactory and mediocre. Like when I was in teaching, that's how you got rated by Ofsted.
Because you were mediocre.
Bitch, I was outstanding. Let's not even go there. We all know I was the doll. Oh, wait, don't say that. Might get cancelled. But it's just...
but not the rest of the rant.
Do you know what? I literally don't care. But also, I'm seeing all these queens comment. I'm like, you with a mic... I've seen you with the mic, and all you do is be racist because you can't help it when you see a person of color. So how about let's talk about that? How about some of these queens are not that good, and that's okay. But for you to come for someone like, you're not even that good, and oh yeah, you're podcasting this and that, I'm like, girl, at least they are doing a self-produced podcast. What are you doing? And many of you queens do have a podcast and have had a podcast for years and years and years with your 2 little listeners. And that's okay. But don't come for the girls. Don't come for young people. Like, they're like 10 plus years younger than me. And like, I could have taught them when I was a teacher. And I just see young queer creative people who have excelled in their field of creativity. It's insane. And it's just like, you lot piled on in your hundreds though. It was an opportunity, and I felt like people were waiting in the wings to attack, especially Crystal. I felt like people were waiting in the wings to pounce on them. And it was like, also, like, they've actively celebrated camp comedic drag, but you can't celebrate their form of drag. And from my experiences of being around a lot of drag in the UK, which I love, the most negative experiences I personally have been with some of these, older camp queens who haven't been very nice, who have done really flippant comments, race remarks on the way I look, the remarks on my body, remarks on me, when I've just sat there and said nothing. Do you know what I mean? So it's just really interesting.
Well, okay.
I think we should take a little break and come back.
Okay.
Because we should.
We're going to take a little break, and we will be right back after these kind words from our sponsors.
And we are back. Anywho, I think there's so much more to say onto that. Also, I want to add, because you're under the weather, a lot of people project. So I just saw a lot of projection. And people make up stuff like, well, you're not even booked and da-da-da. I'm like, wait, am I the only one seeing like these brand collabs that some of these girls are doing? Am I the only one seeing them flying around? And also, you don't know what's going on in people's lives, and often people project when things aren't going right for them. So when I was looking at some of these queens, I was like, oh, this isn't going right for you, this isn't going right for you. Another one was like, well, I had 350 million bookings last year, and I did it. And I'm like, is that a flex to say that you had a booking nearly every day of the year? Because shouldn't the aim eventually be, to like either go on tour or have less bookings and make more money out of it, etc., etc.? Because one minute these lot were coming for Crystal saying that she was charging X amount for 4 figures for 2 numbers, and she shouldn't charge that much, which I disagree actually, because you're paying for what you pay for. You
Mhm.
know, you judge the venue, you judge how much tickets are selling for, you judge how many people are seated, and you judge everything in advance. But also, like, it's an industry where you don't know when it's going to end. You know,
Yeah.
that's the entertainment industry, and I do think a lot of people projecting and jealous. But even if you think a certain way, it's kind of like, what are you doing? Like, why are you even bothering attacking them? You just found a morsel of nothing.
I think for me, would you like my hot take on this?
Yeah.
Why? Why are you sighing?
No, no, I want your hot take.
Are you sure?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course I do. I just want a sip of water, but I want your hot take.
Okay. So there's a lot to unpack here. First of all,
What did you just call me?
I called you.
All right, go on,
I called
unpack.
you what that drag queen called us in Bradford.
That's what I mean.
That camp comedy,
That camp comedy queen
that camp comedy foil background queen.
called me the P word. She
And then refused to apologize until she got afraid, and the manager got in between and still didn't
you
apologize.
literally,
And it was like, oh yeah, no, it was just a joke. And it's like, no, that's just
you
racism.
call me the P word,
Yeah,
just like many camp comedy queens have done.
yeah,
You
which is a
know,
derogatory term for South Asians.
yes, it is. You know, and it's just like,
And they didn't see anything wrong with it.
also Christopher Versace's daughter is a person of color. Period.
Oh yeah, shout out to the Bradford baddie,
Yes,
Imani
Amani.
Versace. I
There we
do love her.
go. There we go.
It's so nice seeing her growth.
Girl, she's
So
Besley.
nice seeing her, just how her aesthetic has just gone from strength to strength. How she's producing her shows and making a mark for herself in a, traditionally white male dominated
Yeah.
industry,
Yeah,
which is
she's doing the damn thing.
difficult
She's
to
doing
make
the
your
damn
space
thing.
in that. Yeah, it's incredible. What I was going to say in terms of my hot take, there's several things. I mean, first of all, I love how it's like, let's not dogpile on the girls, and you're like, yeah, but then you're like, let me reverse dogpile on all the comedy ones. But I love that about you. You stand your ground.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think for me, it's an uncomfortable truth that you and I have known for many, many years, and we talk at length. Like we have a creative meeting where one day a week, and after that, we used to usually take a break, go for shisha, and we used to take a break from work, but really we'd talk shop and we'd kind of dismantle how things are. And we have discussed this at length. And the uncomfortable truth is that, like, that sort of irreverent, um, not so highly polished aesthetic is celebrated traditionally within British drag. That is quintessential British drag. And I think that the whole idea of a bloke in a wig is the joke, right? But when it comes to sort of going to try and reach for the stars, you have to, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but like, you have to consider the fact that the joke is the joke, and you looking like a joke isn't part of it.
Whew.
So and I understand why people do it, because it's a lot easier to look at somebody and go, ha, man in a wig, because you instantly get it,
Yeah.
and you're no longer a threat. You're not a threat.
Mhm.
But if you have a very polished aesthetic and then you're funny, and I'm not talking about myself, I'm not in this. I do my drag is my own thing. Do you know what I mean? I don't fall into any of these categories, but I am quite stringent with making sure my aesthetic is as
Yeah,
good as
you've
possible.
leveled up and you continue
Yeah,
to want to
and
improve.
yeah, 100%. Um, but I think when your aesthetic is no longer part of the joke, then you actually become a threat. Then it then the stakes are much higher, and then you have to make sure that what you're saying, what you're doing, is the joke rather than what you're looking at. It's that old adage of being laughed at rather than laughed with. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So there is that element that can become a bit of a challenge. And I think these kids are young and they are incredibly talented, and what they were trying to say just came out the wrong way. That is my opinion. What they're actually saying is, what Crystal is saying is what I've seen to a certain extent when I've done international gigs, is they're doing it like this over here, and they are it's almost like you're trying to unlock all the keys. It's like they make decent coin doing this. How are they doing it? Well, the aesthetics polished. They are, therefore you draw in all everybody, You're getting, you look a certain way,
The
so you're getting,
stages are better.
the stages are better. You look a certain way, so you get paid a certain way because your point of view is coming across so much better. We need to do this. We need to get to that. But unfortunately, that, broadly speaking, is incongruous with traditional British values. Traditionally speaking, we are not a nation that's like, yeah, we're gonna go out the next day and do it better and better and better and better. We and somebody will be watching this getting outraged and saying, no, we are, and we'll find you an example. I'm sure you will, but I'm talking as a collective. As a collective, it is very much like, oh, it'll be fine, it'll be all right. And there's this whole thing of like, oh, you think you're all that. And I'm sorry to say, but the comment section proved that,
Period.
because there is a drag artist in the comment section that I was very surprised by and frankly disappointed with what they said. And it was very much like, well, if you don't like it, you can get out. And I've always, it's giving racism, but it's white on
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
white on white violence over here. Do you know what I mean?
It's giving white on white violence.
It is white on white violence, and I've said this about. I've said this in the past. I'm like, sometimes people just fire stuff and try and hurt, and they'll just pick something. Okay, brown, skinny, fat. Let's just get you all. And I thought, and that's essentially what it is. It's like, this is how we do it. You're punching down. Who do you think who do you think you are? You're not all that. And if you think you are, get out. Do you know what I mean? So I think this experience is inevitably only going to catapult them.
I agree.
And I think really, you should let somebody do and think as they please, particularly in this climate. I don't understand why we're cannibalizing ourselves and saying, oh, we're just LGB and the T's can go over there and the camp queens can go over there and the fashion queens can go over there and the masculine gays are here. Just stop it, because that's a traditional divide and rule rhetoric that dismantles people and turns us against each other. Do you know what I mean? I think, but I think ultimately she was saying it to herself. Crystal was saying it to herself, and I think if she continues to apply herself, she's gonna reach astronomical heights.
Oh, she will.
And yeah, I completely concur with what you're saying. I don't want to hear her make a joke. I want to sit there, and I have done this. I have watched her TikToks when she's doing her makeup, and I'm like, I am seated and ready to take notes. Yes, we look very differently, but I know that if I can be inspired by her skill set, it's going to make my aesthetic better. Like, for example, like, how to do the tapes.
Yes.
I don't do tapes anymore because I've lost a little bit of weight, so I'm a little bit happy. I'm happier with how it is. But how to kind of maneuver your contour to give that foxy sort of aesthetic. How to do tapes, where to place a contour, that sort of detail I've picked up from her TikToks.
But like, notice how
I'm not paying you, though.
But notice how you put your ego to one side, because she's much younger than you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You old haggard.
Oh, I'm aging star.
Yeah,
aging
but
star.
like, you are able to see the talent there.
Yeah,
but also the hard work that she's put into her talent to get to where she is, and the discipline. My God.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like,
why
do you know
are we
where
not embracing, and why aren't we
Right?
encouraging the younger generation?
the young queers are doing it?
Like,
This is
go.
incredible. Like, we're seeing young queer people
Yeah.
thrive in the arts.
And
You
then
know,
if you-
these were just not
Talk
many years
about-
ago. They were kids in school, probably struggling, but they had art.
talk
and,
about
like, they're
arts,
thriving.
right. I have to say, speaking of arts, like, these are, oh yeah, well, who do you think you are, and blah blah blah, and I don't care, and I'm absolutely fine, and everyone can go screw themselves. It's just a bit of fun. No, girl, you're both on the same show. You're both at the same places promoting the same stuff. Should not have done that. Don't tell me that you are anti-capitalist and anti-progress.
I know what you're talking about.
When you are doing it in a capitalist environment. You want to protest? Glue your hand to tarmac. Don't do it at a pink furry carpet.
You okay?
Do you know what I mean?
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, good. I just have to look after my husband's well-being, everyone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say,
Let peace, love, and light.
we're gonna wrap this up soon, but I'm gonna make
Oh,
I'm gonna make a few points.
Mhm.
Right? It's okay. You can die quietly.
Mhm.
I'm joking. I'm gonna make a few points. Okay. So the dog piling, it's not good. you don't know what that could do to someone. It is really, really bad. We should have learned by now in the queer community not to dogpile, right? Secondly, you lot are more outraged over this little clip than the racism within our community, period. That's the fact, right? You don't get outraged at that stuff anymore. Like, that's kind of like happens very quickly and we move on, and you lot will keep this going for days and you lot were outraged at it. Like, really? Really? Let's prioritize. And you brought light to it all and did the dogpiling and did all that. And also, for people commenting like, I'd love to see you hold the mic, I'd love to see you do this, we do this and we do that, and da da da. And some people are great at it, and guess what, some people are not. You should just come back to Crystal when what you do, which is mic work and hosting, is as good as what she does with her aesthetic, right? Because you have your own lanes in drag, but if your work is as good as what she does, then you can talk. But Mary, it's not. It's not. So like, and the people that do, what I noticed, the people that do have very good mic work and very good skills either commented, let's stop dogpiling, or stayed silent.
Talk about looking the part, right? Just my final point on it. Talk about looking the part. It is important. I'm sorry to say, aesthetic is important. It is drag. It's a visual medium. It's art. I've never understood the whole concept of like you're punching in and doing your shift. Like it's a creative medium. Like you don't have to be so humble about it. Allow yourself the creative freedom to express your art. Do you know what I mean? You shouldn't have a. You shouldn't have to apologize for that. But talk about looking the part, because when the whole controversy happened about, I mean, I don't know if they confirmed it or not, but we could say, but like, imagine getting paid 4 figures for a brunch, and and everyone was like, no, and they're not worth that, and how dare they, blah blah blah. What most people do not know is 3 doors down from that very same venue, I was booked to do a brunch for 4 figures as well. Not quite the same 4 figures as the other person, but it was good, and I was going to be wheeled in on a Rolls Royce. Like that's the gig that I had. Unfortunately, I think due to scheduling conflicts and whatever and rescheduling, I couldn't do the gig. But when all that was playing out, I was like, you guys, stop having. You need to get rid of these self-limiting beliefs, because like it doesn't hinder the progress of somebody else.
No, it doesn't.
Only self-sabotages. And I recently learned about I recently saw somebody talking about perception and perspective, and it's like you can move with anger and resentment and intolerance and blah blah blah, or you can do it with love. And the science says that love is just a more efficient fuel to burn.
Period. And with that, we didn't expect this episode to go here.
No.
I know this was like weeks ago it happened, but it went here.
It's still relevant.
It's still very, very relevant. And you know what? The girls, I'm tuned in. At this point, I think some of the girls are in New York. So we might be coming to see you perform.
More importantly,
and give you some dollars.
More importantly, guess who's in town?
Luna loves. Oh wait, at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna make it happen.
We're gonna hang out with our sis.
Yes, we are.
Love you lots.
Love you all so much. Thank you so much for the support and tuning in and the love.
We love you, but you
don't love me. Goodbye.